Hello and welcome. This is Biroza Paul, and today we're going to learn about JavaScript call, apply, and bind methods. As we know that in JavaScript, the functions are considered as objects. So this call, apply, and bind, these three methods are used to control the invocation of functions. The special object this in JavaScript is set by the program at runtime. So if we try to reassign the value of special object this, then it throws a reference error. But if we use this call, apply, and bind methods, then we are allowed to change the value of special object this. We are able to switch the context of the special object this. So let's dive into the code and see how that happens in JavaScript. Okay, so let's consider that I have an object called my object. Is my object having a name? Let's say I have a name here called Jeff, and I have another property called getName, and the getName is a method. That method does is, let's consider that method takes two parameters here, the greeting and rank. Now from the function body we can just simply console.log. Let's log this thing that let's say greetings plus rank plus is.name. This is what it's going to print. Now from the global context we just need to call this getName method. So let's just say getName. So my object.getName. What we want to do is we want to pass this greeting. So let's greeting say hello and send a rank called dot or something. So what this function will do is it will simply call this getName method. It receives these two parameters, so it's going to say hello doctor and this dot name. So this special object is pointing to this my object because this functions or this property has the base, it's my object. So because of that, so this dot name, as this is pointing to this my object, this dot name becomes Jeff. So hello Dr. Jeff. So that's what is going to happen. So if we now go to the browser and refresh, it's hello Dr. Jeff. Let's put in space here, save. Now let's say we have a global object called var school object, and the school object has a name. Let's say I'm going to say Jefferson Smith. Now what we want to do is, instead of this Jeff, we want to get this name in this function. How can we do that? And that's when this apply, call, and bind, all this method comes in. So how can we do that? We can simply use this call method to change the special object this from the point where we are calling this getName. So let's see how can I do that. You can simply say call, and call receives, we can pass the school object in here, and the rest of the arguments or parameters can be passed as the comma separated. So this is the syntax of the call methods. You pass the object that you want to have in your called method. So in this method, this special object this becomes this school object, and then this hello and doctor, these are the parameters. We need to pass those parameters as comma separated So comma separated, you can consider call C for comma. So that's how you can remember this. So now if you just refresh and go to the browser and see that it is actually doing that Jefferson Smith. And the thing in here is, see, we are actually using this get name and then call, and this call is, what call is doing is it is immediately invoking this get name method. So this call and apply, these two methods immediately invokes the function. If we call these two methods on a function or a method, they immediately invoke that function. But bind function, it does not invoke the function immediately. Instead, it returns the function. We're going to see that in a short time. And in case of apply, how that happens, now let's say if we just simply call the same method using apply, how that does. So if we just pass this, so in this case, apply actually has a bit different syntax. Apply, in this case, you can pass the object, and the parameters if you want to pass, that needs to be passed as an array. So in here we have comma separated. If we pass in this style, then apply will throw an error because it expects the parameters to be passed an array. So apply in the beginning of this method, let's say stands for array. That's the easy way to remember this. So let's see what errors this throw. See this create list from array like non-object. So this is an code exception. But if we pass this as an array, this parameter list as an array, then you'll see that it's all good and it's happy. See, hello Dr. Jefferson Smith. So that's the basic difference. Apply and call does pretty much the same thing, because it immediately invokes the method. It changes the special object this to the object that we send. Only difference is the parameter. The parameter, in case of app call, we pass those as a comma separated, and in case of apply, we pass those as an array. Now let's move on to the bind method, because this call and apply, these two methods were introduced in ECMAScript 3, but this bind method was introduced in ECMAScript 5. So let's see how bind method works. If we say bind in here, then this school object, we need to send another object that we want to pass to the method, and the special object of this method, this special object becomes, and this is school object. And in case of bind, we cannot send the parameters to be an array. It needs to be sent as a comma separated. So let's send it as a comma separation. But in this case, now if you just do this and run, then you will see that the function invocation is not happening because it's simply setting the special object this and passing this, but it's not invoking, it's not calling this function. So if you run this, then nothing will happen. See, nothing is in here. So to invoke this method, we need to either call it, we need to either invoke it like this. If you just now run this, then you see this is invoked, or we can do something like store it in another variable. Let's keep it in another variable called name function, and then the second line just say name function and invoke it. So now if you see a difference, it's the same thing. So that's how we can invoke the bind. So the basic difference in here is bind immediately does not call the method. It simply returns that method, and then we can store that returned method in a variable and invoke it like this. So that's pretty much the call, apply, and bind method in JavaScript. Thank you.